Alright, I'm back with Chris, who we did the postural assessment on the other day. And Chris has expressed an interest in partaking in a fun run for kids. So we've written up a program for him that involves a lot of running because pretty much the number one way to get better at anything is to do it. So we do have a lot of running program for the next 12 weeks, 3 to 5 times a week. But as well as that, what we want to do is we want to correct some of the movement malfunctions that we saw in the alignment postural testing to help strengthen you and to help prevent any injuries. Because when you're running, especially doing something for a long period of time over a longer distance, it's going to aggravate some of those little idiosyncrasies and potentially lead to a greater injury or lead to more of a lopsidedness if we don't correct it now. So we're going to do a strengthening and a stretching routine. Not strengthening in the traditional sense of lifting heavy weights and grunting into a mirror, but more what we want to do is we want to activate those inner muscles, the inner abdominal wall and the spina erectus. What they do is they support the spine and the pelvis, kind of help keep that in alignment to stop a bit of that shakiness that we saw and that twist that we saw in the pelvis when we were assessing you with the plumb line. And then we're going to work on your muscular endurance. Because whenever we adjust the body's positioning and we try for new movements, it's going to take a long time for the body to develop that muscle memory rather than slipping back into previous habits. So we're looking at a lot of repetitions of some of these exercises today. We're just going to explain them to you, do a few practice ones, make sure your form and technique is correct. But then, as you'll see with the routine that I've sent you, you're going to be looking at a lot of repetitions because the more the better in the long run. All good, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Any questions so far?
No.
Excellent. So what we're going to do at first, as we said, we want to really activate those inner abdominal wall and the erector spinae. So I'm going to get you to lie down on your yoga mat here. Doesn't matter, whichever way you're comfortable. On your back, sorry. I thought you meant which way would your head go, my bad. Alright mate. So I hope you don't mind me touching you here.
That's right.
You're okay. So if I just hike your shirt up just a tiny little bit here. So you've got those two bones just there,
Yep.
two protrusions that stick out on your pelvis. Just on the inside of that, you've got kind of an indent. Okay, you can feel that, your finger just on the inside of that bone, you've got that little indent there. So now if you feel yourself tense that muscle, so the best way most people think about this is trying to hold in going to the bathroom. And you really tense that out, you should feel that muscle kind of dig in there. Okay, so that's your inner abdominal wall. So the abs that most people think about, the big six-pack that everyone wants, they're great, they look good, but the inner abdominal wall actually supports the spine and helps protect the pelvis and the spine. So that's what we want to keep nice and tight. So you should be able to feel yourself tighten that muscle will build up, and then as you relax it again, you can feel it kind of disappear in there.
Yeah.
Okay? This time I want you to tighten it and see if you can feel any difference between the left and right side. Yeah, you may or may not. It's often common with someone like yourself who's experienced injuries, where one side or the other may kind of die down a little bit to compensate for that fact that a body part, certain part of the body.
Right side doesn't come as tense as quickly.
Okay, yeah.
I have to try harder to make the right side tenser.
That's a good observation. I mean, if you can notice that already, the fact that you have to try harder means that it's not naturally activating as much, which is probably why you're a lot shakier on that right side.
Yeah.
And again, that's going to come from the fact that you have injured that side before and the body's compensating for it.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to bring your legs up to 90 degrees or so, put your feet flat on the ground, okay? You can either use your fingers to feel those muscles again, or you can just, if you can feel them just internally now that you've practiced a little bit, what I want you to do is I want you to turn on that muscle, okay?
Yeah.
And then I want you to drop one knee to the side as far as you can without letting your pelvis or your hips move. Yeah, there you go. And then you're going to bring it back up to the middle, and then you're going to drop the other one to the side. Nice. Okay, bring it back up to the middle. Now, going with the right leg again, keep that muscle tense. I want you to extend your right leg out without letting your pelvis shift or move. Nice. And then bring it back. A little shaky, that's alright. And then try the other side. Nice, keeping that muscle activated, protecting the spine, training that to hold the pelvis in place. Looked a lot better on the left. Could you feel that difference?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to try again for me. So this is one set is drop to the right, drop to the left, and then extend. So you're going to drop to the right, keep that pelvis as flat as possible. You don't want to feel yourself rolling with it. Drop the left knee. Nice, you can see that, trying to hold it there. Extend that right leg. Nice. Bring it back nice and controlled. And then that left leg. Excellent. So you want to make sure you're breathing through this. I know it can be tough to hold that muscle in and then still breathe, but you want to make sure you're breathing through any exercise so you don't cause yourself any additional
You always
stress.
forget when you do it first. Oh no, I need to breathe at the same time.
Yeah, it's and you're focusing so much on the movement, which is great because I'm not seeing a lot of movement, a little bit of shakiness, but not a lot of movement, which is great because it means there's not a huge thing that we have to fix.
Yeah.
But that shakiness is something that we want to try and solidify, so when we do a bigger or a stronger movement or you're running a lot, it's not going to throw you way out of whack. So let's go one more of these. So one to the right. Yeah, there you go. One to the left. Nice and smooth and slow. The aim here isn't speed. It's making sure that you're stable and those muscles are activated and locked. There you go. Very nice. Cool. So what we're aiming to do is 10 repetitions of that at first.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's one repetition. So each of those movements. So you're going to work on that until you feel really comfortable with that, and then we can add in some extra steps to make it a bit more challenging.
Okay.
But you really want to feel that muscle activating. If you're starting to feel tired or you can't maintain that and you're just moving for the sake of moving, then stop. Okay, because the muscles are exhausted at that point, and that's what we want to train. We don't want to reinforce negative movements. We want to solidify better movements, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the first movement. What I'm going to get you to do now is I'm going to get you to flip over onto your hands and knees, and I'll show you another movement that you can do. Again, we're looking at strengthening these inner muscles. Cool. So if you've ever done a yoga class, I'll just drop down here next to you. Have you heard of the happy and the angry cat? Okay, so an angry cat is when you're going to bring your chin into your chest and arch your back.
Oh, cat cow.
Cat cow. Cat cow is another way to call it. Okay, so that's got that real curvature of the spine there, and then you're going to drop it in the other way. So looking up, going to push your hips up to the sky, and you're going to arch that back, and that's the happy cat, or the cow. And you've got a lot of arch in the back now. So now I want you to go go a couple of those up and down, and then I want you to find a nice place in the middle. So we know that you have a little bit of an extra roll in the back here from working at computers.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be natural for you to kind of sit that way. So it's great to experiment with those two extremes, find too much curve and too much roundedness, and then find that middle ground where you've got this nice flat back here. And you also want to be careful that the head doesn't drop down with gravity. It is quite heavy, but you want to keep that in that nice straight alignment. Cool. So now we've found this middle ground, and you can use the cat cow or the angry happy cat to figure that out. What I want you to do is I want you to lock that muscle again, so feel yourself tighten that muscle, okay? And then I want you to try and it doesn't have to come up a long way, but I want you to lift one hand just a little bit off the ground. Excellent, very nice. So we're trying to keep this flat back, we're trying not to let the body shift from side to side. Try it with the other hand for me. Yeah, there you go. It's tougher than it looks, isn't it? Okay, go to the left one again. There you go. Put it down and then shift your weight onto your left hand and lift the right one up. Nice. So there's not a lot of movement there. Would you like to try a little more challenging?
Superman's.
Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to do opposite arm and leg. So now again, it doesn't have to be all the way up, okay? Just want you to slowly lift both. Keep that back nice and flat. Keep those muscles activated. Okay, and down. So basically, the main point when this works is that just after you've lifted off the ground. You don't have to lift that high, because as you brought the left leg up super high, you ended up twisting the pelvis, exactly. So just a little bit, perfect, that's enough. And then bring it back. Now shift the weight onto the other side, bring it out. Ooh, so there's definitely a bit of rotation on that side.
Yeah, I felt
okay?
the difference, yeah.
So set back down again, okay, take a deep breath. Okay, once you're ready, I want you to lock that core muscle again, the inner abdominal wall, and then try it nice and slowly. Yeah, that side's really good. Okay, set yourself up for this side, shift the weight. Yeah, you can see that shift on that side, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay, it's a little twist, and it's something that we noticed before, and this is why we're doing these exercises.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that when you lift the right hand and the left knee, it's pretty flat. So I want you to, when you're ready, take a breath, set your muscles up, and then practice that one more time. Get the feeling of how these move, but this sits perfectly stable. Okay, try and get that same feeling on the other side for me. Okay, so nice and easy, set it up, lock the muscles. That's better, that's better. And you don't have to extend all the way at first, just that as soon as you've lifted the weight off them, your body has to compensate for that balancing effect. So you don't have to extend all the way at first. Let's try one more on each side, just because this is something we know we can work on. Nice, very nice. And then the other side, shift the weight, lift it up. That's better, that's much better. I can already see an improvement on that. Good stuff. Cool, so relax for a second, take a couple of deep breaths. It can be tough doing these. I mean, they look simple, and someone walking into a gym, you're not squatting 100 kilos, it looks simple, but these are the muscles that really matter to help solidify, because otherwise little things can just spiral out of control, right? And this is going to help with your running and your snowboarding in the long run. Cool, so both of those work, I mean the whole torso, so the core muscles, the back and the front work together, but both of those work a little bit more on the front side as we tense that muscle.
Yeah.
We're going to work more on the erector spinae with one other one. So I'm going to get you to lie on your back again, with your knees at 90 degrees, feet flat on the ground. Okay, have you ever done a bridge before?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So what we want to think about here is you're lifting, okay, so this whole portion of your body from shoulder to hip is coming up as one board. Okay, we're not rolling it, we don't want to roll the spine, we want to lock that spine in place. So we're tightening that core again, we're tightening the back, and what you should feel as you come up is you're actually using your gluteal muscles, which lock into those erector spinae, to bring that up into a nice straight line. Excellent, there you go, and then you can lower it down. Nice. Yeah, you can use your arms to support yourself at first. If you want to make it more challenging, you can bring the arms across the chest. Okay, now bring it up again, try and bring both sides up nice and even. Excellent, cool, and then back down. You don't have to go too high, you can put a little bit of strain on the knee if you try and press it up too high. As soon as you feel the gluteal muscles lock in place, and you'll feel the back, so if you bring it up one more time when you're ready, okay, so you should be able to feel, right next to your spine, there's those lump muscles, so I should be able to feel those tense up there. Can you feel that?
I can feel the back,
Yep, excellent. So that's what we want to feel, and then you can lower it back down again. How does that feel doing it with 2 feet?
That was fine.
It's okay? Cool. So the way to step this exercise up, because you're doing that one pretty nicely, both sides coming up evenly, a little bit of shake, but that happens to pretty much everyone at first, is I'm going to get you to come up into a bridge, and then I'm going to shift your weight onto one side, okay, without twisting and moving the hips, and just like we did with the Superman, you're going to lift one foot up. You don't have to bring it all the way out. Just want you to release the pressure on one side and see how it goes. Okay. There you go. Okay. Alright, so lower it back down for me. Alright, I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher, just to make it a little more challenging. There you go, get that bridge up. Okay, now I want you to shift your weight onto your left foot. Nice, and then bring it back down. Okay, shift onto your right foot, lift that left foot. So you can see that rotation there.
I felt it.
Yeah, you can feel it when it happens, and that's what you want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
It's not getting through them, you lower it down, take a breath. It's not just about doing the exercise, it's about trying to really lock it in place. Take a couple of breaths. Remember to breathe while you're doing this, every time. Okay, so lift, breathe, foot, breathe. I'll add that into the routine. Nice, so that side's really, really good. Okay, take a breath, tighten up the core, shift it. That was better, much better. So when you focus, you can do it, but the fact that you need to focus means the muscles aren't doing it naturally, which is what we really want to train in. There you go, that side's really nice. Shift the weight, lock the core. Better, better. There you go, nice. Let's try, take a deep breath, then we'll try one more on each side just to lock it in. Okay, extending that leg, nice. The fact you can get full extension on that side is great. Lock it in, stop that rotation, nice. Perfect. And lower it down, take a rest. Excellent, good stuff. So with all of these things, we're aiming at a minimum of 10 repetitions.
Yeah.
So the more we do it, the more the muscles are going to naturally activate, and then we want to build this up into 15, 20.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, as you can see, with a mat and a spare space, you can do this as much as possible. And it's really going to help you out, but just put that on the routine for twice a week at this point.
Okay.
But, the more the better, basically. Excellent. So once we start to solidify those inner muscles, really lock in that spine, that the hips, the pelvis, then we can start to utilize this for movements. And the two main ones I want to look at is a squat and a lunge.
Yep.
So these are two that everyone does, and a lot of people do a little incorrectly. But what they do, especially a lunge, it emulates that movement of walking or running, which is what we're going to be doing a lot of.
Yeah.
And a squat is just the 2-foot version of that. So if we can lock these in and get them correct right now, then as you take this into a more dynamic setting like running, it's not going to lead you to any issues. So I'm just going to grab a prop for this one. And the beauty of this is you can use pretty much anything at home. Just use the old broom, as long as it's nice and straight and doesn't weigh too much so it doesn't throw you out.
Yeah.
So if you just stand with your feet kind of shoulder width apart, maybe a little past shoulder width apart, width of your, the way the spine works, even though it has natural curves in it, you've got the curve in at the neck, out at the back, in at the back, around the hips again, eventually it sits in a straight line. Because all that weight stacks up over the pelvis, and that's the way it's supposed to sit for efficiency, for safety, and to help prevent any further injuries. So if when you're standing there, I put my straight stick that I've got against your back, it should sit against your coccyx, which is your tailbone, in between your shoulder blades, and you can feel it touching the back of your head right there, right?
Yeah.
So this feels a little odd for some people, especially sitting at a computer. We tend to kind of
I
lean
feel it in
forward
my
with the
neck.
head. I know,
My
and
neck wants to
you
do
just
that.
want to look down with the head, right? So this is really going to help train that idea. So what I'm going to get you to do now is I'm going to get you to do 2 or 3 squats. You've done squats before, right? Cool. And I just want to have a look at your form, and then we'll talk about how we can make it better, or how good it is, or so on and so forth.
Okay.
So just in your own time. Nice. This time when you go down, I want you to hold yourself in that squat for me.
Okay.
Excellent. So now if I get our stick and I put it here, so you can see it's still kind of at the tailbone, and you brought the head down nicely, but it's kind of missing that back, so pulling those shoulders back a little bit, and even if you drop the head, just look down in front of you a little bit more, and that's going to straighten that out. So it's really common for people, especially when doing squats or something, to stare into a mirror. And what that does, it brings the head up, adds too much arch to the upper back, and then starts to put a lot more strain on the lower back.
So difficult to know where your head
I know, it's great, and that's why we use this. So I'm actually going to get you to hold this here when you do a couple, so you can have either both hands behind your back, or one at the top, one at the bottom, as long as it keeps you in, and then coming down into it, and just let your head drop down with it. Excellent, and then you can come back up. Okay, so feel this feeling at the top, how the chin is tucked in a little bit to have it, and then as you come down, instead of letting that chin come up, feel that chin and just let the eyes drop down in front of you. There you go, that's a bit better. Nice. It's also going to help a little bit if you focus on hinging at the hips. You want to drop those hip back. So when you start, instead of starting with the hip and then letting the knees come out, just keep pushing those hips back. You're sitting down in a big invisible chair. Nice. What that's going to do is going to stop the knees coming over the toes, which starts to put shearing strain on the knee. And really focus on those glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads, which is the whole point of squats. Okay, try a couple more for me. Let the eyes come down, sitting into it. Nice.
So weird with the broom.
Yeah. Is it weird because of the balance or weird because of the spinal position?
Because of my arm.
Yeah, okay. Try it with both behind your back, because you shouldn't need your arms to balance anyway. And this is going to help keep your shoulders back. It's going to help you keep even instead of twisting with one. Let the eyes drop down. There you go. It's kind of intuitive, right? Everyone wants to look ahead.
I know. I've been trying to stop doing that as well.
Yeah. But that's good. You know it, and knowing it is the first step to fixing it. There you go, and then come back up here. Let me hold this for you. All right. Let's see if you can check it out. Give yourself a quick break, and then when you're ready, we'll get you to try a couple now. Now you've got a couple of things to think about. You can either focus on the position of your chin, you can focus on where your eyes are looking, really focus on those hips dropping back, okay? Don't let those knees drive forward. You should feel the weight through the heel of the foot. Very nice.
I'm still looking forward a bit.
A little bit, but you're aware of it now. Let yourself look down at your mat. Check out your pretty little mat.
The So pretty.
Nice.
$30 Walmart.
Okay, do another one. Nice, keep those shoulders back. So as you come down, hips are good, eyes are getting better,
Yeah.
but when you came down,
Shoulders.
you then kind of
Yeah.
throw on those shoulders forward, pull them back. You'll feel a lot of tension in the upper and lower back, trying to keep that position. That's a nice position right there, beautiful. Do that again, and I'll show you with this. Get into that beautiful position, look at that, that is picture perfect. Put that in a textbook. So that's what you want to feel. Take those positive feelings that you just got out of that and reinforce it.
Yep.
You know now when you're doing something wrong, right?
I knew I was doing something wrong before.
But different cues work for different people.
Yep.
Some it's just the eyes look down, excellent. Some it's feeling that chin come in, feeling the hips, feeling the weight in the heels. Whatever it is that works for you, that's what you want to focus on. And as I said, to train a muscle memory, it takes a lot of time, especially when you've been doing something wrong for a long time. So the more repetitions, the better. In our routine, we've got this twice a week again, and we're looking at 15 repetitions. But if you ever have a chance and you're just bored sitting around, you want to stretch the legs, do a couple and really focus on that good position.
Yep.
Awesome. Last but not least, we're going to do lunges for your strengthening routine. Lunges, again, a misunderstood exercise. Have you ever tried lunges before?
Oh yeah.
Excellent, cool. So I'm going to get you to set yourself up into a position that you're comfortable to, and show me 2 or 3 lunges on each leg. Yeah, watch out for the mat, move a little bit. It's alright, take your time, take your time. Don't worry about me. You
I
do
worry
your
about
thing.
everything.
Nice. Awesome. So what do you think about when you're lunging? What are some of the key points or focuses that you use?
Trying to keep my kind of hip square.
Yeah, super important, because that's allowing the hip to twist is going to help, is going to kind of amplify that rotation issue that we already have. So that's good that you're aware of that. Anything else?
My knee not going past my toes.
Yeah, again, same as the squats, knees going past the toes, not good. Put shearing straight on the knees. Want to really focus on those hips. And you can feel it when you do it wrong. You can feel that kind of injury, that pain in the side of the knee. Cool. So you've actually got a really nice upper body position, nice and straight, which is great, because a lot of people kind of either roll in or collapse into it. But we're coming down with the legs. The whole point is we're working one leg and we're working the glute or hamstrings, the quads. One of the biggest things I saw is the step forward. It's shaky. Okay, so separate that. You make a lunge into 3 movements instead of 1. Have the step, the down, the up, and the step back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, because if you, a lot of people try and step into the lunge and then they're all over the shop. Okay, there you go, and then up and back. So we can use that tightening of the core, pulling the belly button to the spine like we practiced, and that's going to help solidify. So as I step forward, it should look nice and stable, and then down, up, step back, nice. Step forward with the other leg, keep it nice and stable, don't let those hips twist, down, up, back. Excellent. So you can see already there's a lot less shaking because you're not banging on, which is putting pressure on your joints when you slam into a hard surface like the ground. It's keeping that body in alignment. So let's try a couple more. Use those new cues. So tighten, step, nice and smooth, much better. Lower, up, back. Excellent. That was really nice. Let's try it on the right leg. Much better. Don't forget to breathe.
It's the pressure.
You got it, mate. You got it. You're doing really well. When you start to think about it and focus on the movements rather than just doing the movements, you're doing it really, really well. Nice. Much more stable. Step, down, up. Now that's a good looking squat. Lunge even.
Whoa, that's really nice.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Can you see and feel some of the differences now?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So remember, the whole point of this is to is to replicate movements you're going to need for life, for running. It's going to help protect your spine and pelvis in the future. And it's going to help correct some of these things. So even though we want a lot of repetitions to build that muscle memory, as soon as you start to lose form or get too tired to maintain it, just stop. It's not worth amplifying poor form. Okay. Cool, but that's essentially the strengthening routine. There's 5 movements there with a lot of repetitions, but 5 simple movements, but we just really want to focus on them. Okay, speed is not the issue. It's not get through 15 as quick as you can. It's get through 15 well.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the second half, and this you're going to do at the end of every routine, is stretching. It's something that especially men don't do often enough, and women tend to do a little bit too much. But stretching is going to help relax the muscles, so you don't get what's commonly known as DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness. So when you do any strengthening or you do a lot of running, you're going to feel that. So stretching is going to help recover the muscles quicker. It's going to help reduce that level of pain or muscular soreness. It's also going to help prevent injury. So we're just going to build from the ground up. So a lot of these you'll probably know. I know you have a roller here. Yes, here's our roller. Okay, so we'll put this against the couch here. So easy way to stretch the calves is to find a lifted platform, put your ball of your foot on it, and then you can lean forward into it. Cool. We're going to hold this for a nice slow count of 30. So you actually want to stretch for 20 to 30 seconds minimum. Okay, people who stretch and then done, it doesn't actually do anything. You got to hold the stretch for long enough to allow the muscle to relax, allow the tension to dissipate, and then allow the muscle to start to expand. And optimally, you want to do this 2 to 3 times, holding for 30 seconds. We're just going to run through one set today of each muscle. So a couple more seconds on the left side, and then we'll change to the other side. Alright, so we'll hold this one for 30 seconds again. You just do a count in your head. Nice and simple. Listen to some music. What you'll start to feel, especially as you hit that 15 to 20 second range, is you'll start to feel a lot of that tension dissipate as the muscles relax. And at that point you can start to get into the stretch a little deeper. Or if you activate the muscle, so here we are, we're using the calf. If you pull your toes up, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then relax your toes, you can then get into the stretch a little bit more. Because by activating and then releasing the muscle, we're actually triggering it.
I've done that one before.
You counting it out?
Sure.
We're about 30 seconds?
I'm sure.
Alright, cool. So that's the calves. 30 seconds each, 2 to 3 repetitions, depending how much time you've got. But minimum one always. 2 would be better. Gonna move up to our quads. Again, pretty common stretch. You can use something to balance or hold on to if you need to. But you're going to grab one foot with the same hand, keeping your knees nice and close together. And then, similar to the lunge, you don't want to let the pelvis twist too much. Try and keep it flat. And then you're going to push. So we're doing our right leg. You're going to push that right hip forward a little bit while trying to keep your heel close into your bum. And you should be able to feel that right down that quadricep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice. So a common one here is people just pull the heel to the bum. Doesn't actually do much. You've got to push that hip forward as well, and that's when you really start to feel that stretch.
I was listening.
I'm at about 20.
Sure.
Nice slow count, and you just feel that release, relax. Plan out the rest of your day. The stretching period's a nice way to just chill out at the end of your workout, and then you can move on from there. Cool, you can check that one out, and we'll go to the other side. So knees in nice and close, heel towards your bum, but pushing that hip forward at the same time. Nice. As you get better at it, you can use it for a little bit of stability as well. But stability isn't the main focus. The main focus is stretching, so if you want to hold on to something, by all means. But I'd much rather you hold something than start flailing around, because then you could pull, and you could actually end up straining your muscle rather than stretching it. So there is a fine line between stretching confidently and stretching silly. Okay, cool. that should do for that side. Alright, so we're going to drop down onto our mat now. We're going to go into a nice deep kind of kneeling lunge. Okay, now we're going to bring that right hip forward again to even it out. And as you press that right hip forward, you should start to feel this down kind of the top of your quad and into your hip flexors. Now if you get your right hand and you bring it up and you can kind of bring it over the body, you'll feel this down your obliques as well and hopefully into your hip flexor a little bit more.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good old yoga.
Yep. Yoga is good for a reason. Don't forget to breathe through these as well. Especially at the first kind of 10-15 seconds of a stretch, everything feels tight and sore. It's common for people to hold their breath, but breathing is what actually helps release, gets blood, gets oxygen around the body. Going to help those muscles relax a little bit.
Hope you can.
No, I'm just watching to see how long you hold it for.
I can do it for ages.
Don't be cocky now. Alright, let's change legs.
We've got to go do this later.
Okay, get that nice stability, pushing the left hip forward, keeping the upper body nice and straight. You don't want to roll again. We can use all of these times to practice that good posture. And then arm up and over a little bit. Just be grateful I didn't make you run half an hour today.
That wouldn't have lasted half an hour.
You'll get there, my friend. You'll get there.
Cyclist, not a runner. Don't need cardio to snowboard.
Well, it depends how much backcountry you want to hike. Alright, we'll release that one. Okay, I'm going to come down a little bit lower, sit on your bum. Going to put our heels together, the bottom soles of our feet. You can hold on to your toes, but try not to let your back roll again. So once you've got your toes, you want to straighten that back. Okay, and then you're going to slowly push those heels down, either just with your legs, or you can push them down with your elbows till you feel that stretch across the groin. This one hits both sides at the same time, so it's nice and quick.
Yeah.
So what made you want to go on a fun run?
Because it's fun.
You've got to do it every now and then. Started training swimming to try and go in the Ironman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Gonna need it. Alright.
How far do you have to swim in the Ironman?
3 kilometers or something like that, I believe. Alright, so you can check that out.
Good luck.
It's up to you which way you want to do this. It's probably going to spin around, so we're not mooning the camera. But we're going to do a figure 4,
Yeah.
which is a hip flexor stretch. So you're going to bring your right ankle across your knee, bring your knee up, and then you can lace your hands behind that knee. And try and keep your head and your shoulder blades flat on the ground so you're not arching too much. And then you can pull that knee in towards you. You can even use your right elbow to push your right knee down a little bit as well if you want to get a bit of an excess stretch. You should really feel this on the outside, kind of down that line of the IT band and into the gluteus and hip flexors. Breathe throughout. Nice, slow, even breathing. Letting the body relax. Just chill out. Start to feel it relax. You can pull it a little bit more for those last couple of seconds. And then you can relax it. Stretch that leg out. Change over.
Yeah, this is the one that doesn't work.
Yep, everyone has one tighter side.
Really
This is my tighter side as well.
Got it? Doesn't really work at all.
Okay, you can't quite get it. Don't pull yourself too hard.
I'm not.
That's the whole point of doing this. Eventually those muscles will start to relax. The more we do it, the better.
Damn trees.
10 seconds. Slowly start to pull it in, take a deep breath. Feel that little bit of extra tension. Okay, and then you can relax that one out. This next one is best done with, you can stay down there, I'm just going to grab something to help you out. Grab this guy.
Good job, I've got these props already.
Yeah, I knew that were here. Okay, you're going to get your lie flat on your back. You're going to wrap this around the ball of one of your feet. Cool, you can use hold on to those straps, and this is a hamstring stretch. So you want to try and keep your shoulder blades and your head flat on the ground. And then you can pull that down and pull your toes in towards your belly button. That's going to intensify that stretch. You can see that shakiness in the hamstrings. Okay, remember to breathe nice and deep, nice and slowly. Really work that out. As you kind of get to 10-15 seconds, you can really pull those toes up, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then release the toes. Try and pull the strap up a little bit more. Get a bit of that extra stretch, and then pull those toes back up again. Just slowly increasing the length of that hamstring, working on that flexibility. Alright, that'll do for that one. So relax that out, you can shake it off for a second, change feet. Perfect. And you can bring that one up. Same deal, bring it up nice and close. Yep, get a good grip. So shoulder blades and head nice and flat on the ground, using this time to align that spine while we stretch the hamstring. Pulling the toes in towards the belly button. Good job. Okay, 15, halfway. A nice deep stretch in that hamstring. Pulling those toes up a little bit, last 5 seconds. Root and breathe. Cool, and then you can relax that out. Good job. So now we're going to flip over. That's pretty much all our legs. We work from the calves, the hamstrings, the quads, a couple of different hip flexors and gluteal stretches. What we're going to do now is come into child's pose because you've done yoga before. So you're going to be on both knees. You're going to kind of sit back on your knees. You can have your knees together or apart. You can sit back on your heels. And then as you come forward, you're going to get your right arm and you're going to reach across your body. This is going to stretch the lats and the arms. You can rest your forehead on the ground if you'd like. You're going to hold this for 30 seconds like we've done with all our other stretches. So you should really feel this down the side, the obliques, the lats, and up into the arms, the shoulders, the triceps. Good job. It's a nice relaxing stretch, one of the last 2 that we're going to do. Kind of a nice way just to chill out. As you'll also know from yoga, having your forehead resting on the ground is a great way to connect and relax and let the body kind of just really calm. Alright, so come up out of that position nice and easy, and then you're going to come to the other side. So left hand across. Nice, really feel that stretch up the left side of the body. Just going to hold this one for 30 seconds, and we've got one last stretch after this. Tends to be everyone's favourite, other than the corpse pose, which we're not going to do. Good job. Get this out of your way. Alright, 5 more seconds. Just relax into that stretch. Excellent. You can bring that back to neutral. Shake it out and relax. Nice. Now the last stretch we're going to do is to open up the chest cavity, stretch the pecs, and we're going to lie on this foam roller here. Everyone loves this one, so just basically you're going to put this one down in the middle of your mat. And you're going to lie so that your whole spine, so everything from the tailbone to the back of your neck is supported by that. And then you're going to let your arms open out to the sides. Yeah, you might need to shuffle a little bit just so you don't grab the couch there. There you go, you got enough space?
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Arms out to the sides. This really opens up the chest, stretches the pecs, allows everything to kind of relax down with gravity after all the tension that we've put into it and all the strain and exercise. Deep breaths, letting it relax. This is the last stretch, so you can either hold it for 30 seconds or you can just go to sleep there, whatever works for you.
I'm gonna sleep now.
Good stuff. Well, while you're chilling out on that last stretch, is there any questions on the strength and stretching components of your routine?
No, I don't think so.
Cool, excellent. So I'll send you a copy of that routine. As I said, there will be a lot of running involved, but it is important that we do these components as well to help strengthen you up. So one, you run better and more efficiently, and two, you can avoid any injuries. Cool. And then as we go down the track, we'll add a little bit more to it and answer any questions you have.
Sick.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott.